Hey everyone, welcome back to Immediate Movie Reactions. I'm here after seeing Megalopolis, and it is dark, and it is raining, and it is cold, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in this movie, because guess what? It also fucking sucks. This movie is terrible. It is starring Adam Driver and Giancarlo Esposito and Natalie Manuel, who you may or may not know from the past movies. She was also in the criminally underrated Invitation. She may be the best part of this movie. However, she does next to nothing throughout the whole thing. I don't even understand what her point is, except that her character's name is Julia, and Adam Driver has the power to stop time. But again, that means nothing, because he's also created this substance, who I'm just going to call it tritium, because I don't remember what the hell it was called, that can do everything. And they're trying to build a Megalopolis, a city based on oh my God, I don't know what this is supposed to be, a new utopia that they're building. And so his name is Caesar and her name is Julia, and they're in New Rome. Do you get it? Because if you don't get the metaphors, guess what? They also have Lawrence Fishburne as the narrator, who will tell you everything. And when we talk about filmmaking or storytelling and it's show, don't tell, well, guess what? This movie thinks you're all fucking idiots and you're not going to get it, so we're going to tell you. Oh, and guess what? This is also a political movie that is anti-MAGA, anti-Republican, but not necessarily pro-Democrat, because it's just shit. And the message in this movie gets completely lost, even though the metaphors and the symbolism are just kind of drilled into your head. There's one point where this like satellite from Russia crashes and destroys New Rome, which is New York, but it's not New York. It's also the actual country, and we're in the 31st century or something. I don't know what the hell is going on, because it is 2 hours and 18 minutes of nonsense. And so, God, in 2 hours and 18 minutes, right? It feels like this movie is about 5 hours long. So basically, what happens is this satellite crashes, and then I guess that allows Adam Driver to now build his utopia, even though Giancarlo Esposito is the mayor. Cicero, guess what? Because there's a lot of Shakespeare references. There's a lot of references to Greek mythology. But you know what they don't do? They don't really talk about Roman mythology, other than a reference to Saturn. Hey everyone, welcome to my beautiful car studio here. So I do have to make a quick aside, because discussing this movie with my wife on the way home, and we both hated it. It was offensively pretentious, and I can see why Coppola had to basically self-distribute this movie. But I did say that I thought that they missed an opportunity. It was ridiculous that they didn't really go into anything with Julius Caesar or Marcus Aurelius. I guess that did happen. I needed a break from this movie. It did feel, like I said, so long. So I went out to get a refill on popcorn and drink and all that sort of thing. I was out of the theater for about 5 minutes, and I guess they covered all of that. The whole history of Rome and the Roman Empire and the rise of the Caesars was all covered within that time. So anyway, there we are. I made a mistake. I apologize, and I hope that doesn't change your opinion of this movie. All right. Thank you. Cornelia, and that very obvious Julius Caesar. Like, where is the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, or where is, Alexander, like, not Alexander, Caesar, right? Like, those teachings, that's so much that was potentially, a feeding ground for this movie. They just completely ignore with really heavy-handed political statements. And I am not a MAGA supporter. I am not a right wing. I'm not, on that at all. But like the idea of there's this gang of hoodlums out there in red hats, and they're taking down Shia LaBeouf, who is kind of Trump but not Trump, and he's got this stupid fucking haircut. Oh, and Aubrey Plaza is in this movie, and sorry, hot take, Aubrey Plaza sucks. She is not good. She was fine as April Ludgate. She was funny in Parks and Rec, but you know how she did that one character where she would do like this 20s starlet, like she was out of Great Gatsby or something like that, and it was very hammy and overacted, and it was kind of funny within the context of that show. Well, guess what? That's the character she plays in every fucking movie that I see her in. Every movie that I have seen her in, I have pretty much hated. Operation Fortune Rue de Guerre, come on, that was nonsense. And again, she overacts, and she's terrible. She brings down every scene that she's in. She makes it seem like it's a comedy, but she's like, I'm a serious actress. I don't know. This movie was fucking terrible. I actually thought for a while, I was like, this is the best made worst movie. Like, you know, I'm kind of enjoying the way the iris is coming in and it frames out certain characters, and you're watching the movement of the people through the city, you know, with the camera. You're feeling that motion, but the actual film itself, the story, the acting, everything is awful. There's this whole like Coliseum bit that makes no sense. They bring in a Taylor Swift type character who is there for about 5 minutes before she's written off because her point in the story is completely lost. If you've seen, you know, so this city, it's about Megalopolis. It's about New Rome, even though they also have at one point an Elvis impersonator singing America the Beautiful, because it is America, because other people have Confederate flags for some reason, even though it's, I don't know, whatever, 1,000 years in the future. No sense at all. So they bring in this Taylor Swift character who comes in and goes, and that's just everything that's happening in this. Jon Voight is in this as like the head of a bank, but for what reason, I don't know. There's all these weird like Game of Thrones, like these cousins are sleeping and these are brothers and sisters and they're sleeping with each other, but they're not, because they don't really explore any of that. And every background actor in this, every extra feels like they think they're the star. They're doing all this shit behind the scenes that at first I was like, this is kind of cool. Like, it's a whole vibrant world behind us, but none of that matters because it has no effect on anything that is happening in the story, except to kind of make you sick to your stomach. And, you know, if you've seen the movie, this is a weird one, Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. Do you remember how shitty, even though I love that movie, how crappy and fake everything was? Like, it was obviously intentionally fake looking, right? That's the way the city, if this is Megalopolis, if this is about the city, if this is about building this utopia, make that utopia look good. Make it stand out. There are points where Adam Driver and Natalie Emmanuel are standing like on top of this building or something, and it is such an obvious green screen. They go up this elevator on the side of a high rise, and it's freaking terrible. So anyway, I need to go because I can't do any more in this movie. Just don't see it, stream it, skip it. I guess, you know, skip it. And, but if you don't skip, please don't skip, hit that like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. I got to go because I'm wet and I am done with this movie. See you after the next movie. I appreciate you all.